Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Everyone is here except Erin Turnahan. She went off to get married. She's in Puerto Rico now. Yep. So she didn't come back for the meeting, and we're not going to hold it against her. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, the first item is approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next is approval of the minutes of the meeting held on September 9, 2025. And I apologize for giving you a book.
Only 10 pages.
But anyway, we can talk about that. Are there any, do I have a motion?
I move to approve.
Second.
Okay. Any changes? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. The next item on the agenda is a report from Police Chief Patrick Foley. Chief.
Sure.
He's learning from Mickey Hinman.
That's it. He has a big influence on me. Yeah. I did it once and I get punished. I was told to keep doing it. So since we last had our meeting, we had 2 officers promoted. On October 17th, Sergeant Joshua Fulton was promoted from corporal to sergeant. He has 10 years with the police department, also 1 as a seasonal police officer. And on the same day, Grady Meredith was promoted to patrolman first class with 2 years successfully completed with the police department, and also previous seasonal police officer. October 14th, Deputy Chief Norman and I met with the congregation and the leadership of St. Anne's Church down on Route 26. If anybody was paying attention to the news, there was a lot of active shooters, active threats at churches, schools, malls, you name it, recently. So we thought we would proactively reach out to these facilities and see if they wanted to meet, just to strengthen, target harden, if you will, strengthen what they have in place, go over any kind of recommendations that the police department had or what they had, and we can kind of get on the same page to just kind of strengthen their church in any way. We met with St. Anne's on October 14th and did a vulnerability assessment. This included, which I actually learned that day, they have religious formation on Sundays, and I believe it was 100?
Yeah, around 100, yes.
100 kids that attend there Saturday mornings for 2 hours. In the sad world we live in, these kids already have this training in school if there was an active event at the parish. So they're actually well versed in this, but we met with the religious formation coordinator as well as the clergy and went over, we did a walkthrough of the parish, made a few suggestions. They were actually implementing a few of them with screening the windows so you can't see in and out. They took a lot of our ideas and ran with it. We met with St. Martha's on Maplewood Street on November 6th. Same exact thing, did a walkthrough of the congregation, met with the grounds crew there, a couple suggestions that we had. Very productive with both agencies, and it's glad to see that we're all on the same page when it comes to security of the parishioners and those who attend the masses. We had a random audit that was completed by the Delaware Criminal Justice Council. This was in regards to a juvenile justice compliance monitoring. And what that is, it's an audit where the state comes in and double checks your practices and your written directives and your procedures regarding the process of juvenile offenders. So for those who've done ride-alongs, you may have seen some of that in action. We had some incidences where we had to take custody of juveniles and bring them back to the police department. They go through our logbooks, the processing area, detention facility, ensure that we're contacting the parents, that they're not prolonged over the hours of detention, and the arrest status that they're released to an adult. We successfully passed that with flying colors. Thanks to Kalia. we have all the policies and everything set in place. There was no panic whatsoever. We got an email on Tuesday. It said, we'll be there Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Let us in. And that lasted an hour, and it was really informative for me. It's the first time I've ever gone through that. But we had everything perfectly lined up, and looking forward to that next year. A little sensitive here. All right. Few days later, Saturday, October 18th, we had, and again, it was in a regional, the No Kings demonstration rally that was held throughout the country. We again had one in Bethany Beach. Myself, Deputy Chief Norman, and Corporal Lano all came in on our days off and provided coverage for this, and police security, just to make sure that there was no problems with the protesters and to keep traffic flowing and moving safely along 1 and 26. There's two aerial pictures there. They kind of blend in together. On the left side is a Del Dot drone footage. At the peak time, there was 1,100 participants scattered along the walkway through 1 and 26 all the way through Kent Avenue. And then they extended, you can actually see my police car in the turn lane of Route 1 southbound. Just south of Central Boulevard is where they kind of lined up to. Very peaceful demonstration. We received another thank you letter from the director of this. They were gone at noontime. I think it was from 10 to 12, 10 to 1.
10 to 12.
10 to 12, and everybody left at 12:15. It was a really nice day out. I think they all went to the east side of town and went to lunch and did some shopping because town was very busy thereafter. Like to thank the Del Dot drone team for they provided a lot of informative coverage for us while we were monitoring either in our cars. Deputy Chief Norman was actually stationed in his vehicle in the park, and he was actually watching live time camera footage from these drones that could zoom in and pick up any kind of threat, whether it be a backpack or a cooler or suspicious package. We were very appreciative of Del Dot coming down here on a Saturday and providing these pictures and coverage. Some of these might be a little redundant because I think I updated us in the September, but I'm just going to treat this as maybe a year end. This might be something that we could just do instead of doing it every quarter. We'll just do a year end because this is essentially what we do for Kalia. So we had 5 citizen complaints during the year of 2025. 5. You can imagine how many people come into town and how many people that we have interaction with. We had 5 complaints on the Bethany Beach Police Department. I think that's fantastic. Deputy Chief Norman will go through these. Again, some of them might be a little redundant. We'll just go through them.
Sure.
Quickly explain it.
Yeah, just to reiterate what the chief said, I think it speaks to the professionalism of our staff. You know, when you think about the 2,000 plus calls for service that we have in town, the 2,000 plus traffic stops, probably it's more to 3,000 traffic stops, and just other interactions with the public, whether it be on the boardwalk, you know, just riding through town. 5 complaints. It's nice. It's nice to know that's all we have in a year. So I'm not going to go into depth with these, like as far as, but I will explain what exonerated and unfounded means, because sometimes that can be confusing. So traffic stops, normally what happens when someone complains about a traffic stop, it's the demeanor of the officer, or they stopped them for something they didn't believe they should have been stopped for. And like the chief has explained in the past, immediately we take all of these seriously. There's more than one way for them to complain. They can walk in, they can go online. So as soon as we receive it, the first thing we do is watch the body cam, you know, and that's where they come in handy. We review the footage, and more times than not, I would say 99% of the time, we already have our answer after watching the body cam. So the difference between exonerated and unfounded. Exonerated means they they claimed something happened and felt it was unwarranted. But exonerated means those actions, while true, while the person said what happened was found to be true, they were within policy. The officer everything the officer, so if the officer or if the person says, yeah, he stopped me for running a stop sign and I didn't run the stop sign, I came to a complete stop. Exonerated means the officer just did what he did he or she per policy. There was no wrongdoing there. Unfounded means the person was making false claims. They were saying, this officer cursed at me or used rude language, wasn't professional, and then we watched the body camera and none of that happened. Then it's unfounded. So again, 3 of those are traffic stops. The parking complaint, that's where someone felt like they were being blocked in or something like that. And again, we had body cam. We actually had the cameras from the town that we were able to watch. So body cams, town surveillance, the mobile video recorders in the cars all helps us to really clear these things up in minutes. None of those were we spending more than an hour, I would say. Right?
Yeah.
So if there's any questions, the other findings would be sustained. So if someone made a complaint and, yep, that was true, officer was wrong, then that would say sustained. But again, 5 complaints in an entire year is astounding. It's great. Our officers are well-trained, professional, and actually I can say I'm not surprised that that's all we have.
Just to, go ahead.
And I was going to say, some of the, as I recall, 1 or 2, they called and apologized or withdrew the complaint too.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
So the 2 on the screen, that's what I was going to hit. The first one up top, June 20, there's a glare, June 26th on the screen, is an asterisk next to Kalia. It actually came through Kalia, which on the next slide, I'll actually show you a complaint that comes through Kalia. This was on a traffic stop where the person was very mad and upset they got a ticket. The officer did nothing wrong, and the person ran through not 1 but 2 stop signs, and it was an Uber driver. So I feel he felt a little embarrassed because he had a passenger in the back seat and blew the 2 stop signs and was ultimately cited. The officer did nothing wrong, was overly patient with the gentleman, and he wrote a really nasty gram to Kalia, which was filtered to me the next morning, and that's how that was brought to light. We did the investigation, found that the officer did nothing wrong, that the gentleman was just very irate that he got a ticket, and then he actually wrote another letter to Kalia apologizing, saying, I'm sorry, I was mad, I was just venting, the officer did nothing wrong, I'm actually going to pay the ticket. So that was the asterisk on that one. The most recent one we had, October 8th, this was a BOLO, a be on the lookout. There was a motorcycle at a high rate of speed coming southbound on Route 1 over the Inlet Bridge, significantly fast, about 100 miles per hour. Bethany Beach PD was made aware. It already came through our jurisdiction. South Bethany was actually trying to apprehend the vehicle, called for us for backup. We went down there and provided backup for that. The operator made claims that he was, the use of force was heinous by the officers on scene. Further false claims. We watched the body cam because it involved not necessarily a pursuit, but Bethany Beach Police was involved in a pursuit with another agency. We watched the body cam the next morning without even ever knowing a complaint was coming. Found the officers did nothing wrong. A couple days later, I think it was actually about 3 weeks later, we received a complaint through Delaware State Homeland Security. And it said, just an FYI, Chief, this gentleman is filing a complaint on the officers involved of gross negligent use of force. We watched the body cam and did not notice any use of force whatsoever from anybody on scene, never mind Bethany Beach Police Department. That was completely unfounded. That was one of those things that were just made up and never witnessed at all. There was other agencies on scene, so all their chiefs got involved too. Noticed the same thing. We actually got a letter from State Rep Ron Gray. Is that his title? State Rep. It was actually for South Bethany because they actually stopped the vehicle, saying how professional the police officers were on scene regarding this gentleman's claim. So the gentleman filed claims, then it went all the way through the political level, and then came back to the chief of police level saying, you guys all on scene did a fantastic job. I'm sorry you had to go through this, and I'm sorry you have to have these claims filed against you. Glad you did nothing wrong. It was nice to receive a letter that after, we were kind of, what's going on here? What did we miss on body camera that we reviewed that this person's claiming? And come to find out, it was a false claim. So I just wanted to explain the two asterisks over there. I could pull the letter up if you want. It was actually addressed to the chief of South Bethany, like I said, because they actually stopped the vehicle, but he forwarded it to all the agencies involved that were involved in the matter. The next slide, this is,
Question?
yeah.
Are you finished with
Yep, yep.
the reports, if I may, Chair? Can I, first of all, congratulate you on a great report and small number. I think we all feel very proud of what the department does and always has done, so hats off to you. Just two questions for you. One involves the numbers of 2025 complaints as opposed to 2024 complaints as opposed to 2023. And I'm wondering if it's not a heavy burden if when we get the annual report next year, if we can't see sort of comparison to know just exactly what the trends are and stuff, and I think that would help us. Great, thank you. Then the second question, and this might be a little dicey, is listening to your review of the body cams isn't as good as actually watching the body cams. And I think as part of our responsibility, that might be beneficial. I just don't know if it's possible. I don't know if there are privacy laws or issues that are attendant to having a group like this in public review things. So the question is, can we do something like that? And if not, why?
So yes and no. Yes, we would love to show everybody our body cams. We would love to show you that. Most of these cases are still pending. There's a criminal investigation involved, so we can't do it for that. That's actually a really good question that I can confidently say I don't know. We'll have to get the AG's office involved in that.
Department of Justice.
Yeah.
We'll find out from them what, because you'll see some high-profile incidences happen across the country.
Right.
And agencies are proactive in getting that body cam out
Yep.
and trying to save the officer from getting slammed, right? So that's something normally you'll see referenced on those videos, Florida Department of Justice or California Department of Justice, because it is case sensitive.
Yep.
So we'll reach out to the Department of Justice, but I would love for you guys to see what our men and women do for sure.
Yeah. And Dan, as for your, I actually overlooked that. I probably should have put that in here for prior year stats. For CALEA, we have to show proof. We have to do an analysis on each year's, which I could actually add that next year too. For each year's use of force, we have to go through and do an individual analysis on our pursuits, our use of force, and body cam reviews. And what that is, show date and times and pick up anything that we can detect, what's consistent and what's changing and what's growing and what's reducing. So we do actually have to do that through CALEA. It's Deputy Chief Norman actually does that at the year end, and we show proof for the year of 2025 with CALEA. We don't show that to them until August of 2026, because that's when they inspect our 2025 CALEA year. But we actually do that. I could certainly incorporate those for the year ends. Instead of these stats, I am very confident in saying I've been the CALEA accreditation manager since 2020. I've been involved since 2016. Our numbers don't change for complaints and uses of force. During COVID, they actually went up like 1 or 2. Pursuits have gone up 1 or 2. We only have 2 pursuits. I'm getting ahead of myself here. But our numbers relatively stay the same. Yeah. All right, so this here is a message that gets emailed from CALEA to the Chief of Police through the CALEA Public Comment Portal. So this is, per policy, we have to have it up, I believe it's 120 days through CALEA on a town website. We actually keep it up the whole year, if we're gonna advertise, if somebody wants to file a complaint, we're not gonna put a window when they can complain. We're gonna keep it up all year long, which is on our town website. And it goes straight to CALEA. That way, there's no bias. Somebody may feel that there might be some hands in the mix if it goes straight to chief of police, that he may protect the employees. So it could go to CALEA in the town of Bethany. It could go to the town manager. It can now go to the PAC chair, has an email for complaints. This one is from CALEA. Yep.
Where is that on the website?
It's on the Town of Bethany website. When you click Police Department, it's listed right on there. The exact link is CALEA Public Comment Portal. You click it, you enter whatever information it is, automatically goes to CALEA. They review it, which is great for them, and then they send it directly to the CEO of the agency, which is the chief, and then we investigate it. So we've only received 2 through CALEA in the year 2025. One was in June on the traffic stop, and then received another one of the operator apologizing for his false accusations. So we're only received 2. This is actually a comment through the CALEA portal. Can't read it from here. It was a professionalism on a traffic stop by Patrolman Meredith. We received it in October, and the incident was October 6th at 1:04 p.m. Just a little comment on a traffic stop where PFC Meredith issued the person a citation, and the person went on the town website, went to the CALEA and just said, hey, I want to just state that the officer was very professional, he was very courteous and very nice while doing his duties. I apologize for my actions. I was guilty writing the ticket. I was guilty for the infraction, and your officer is very professional. So it actually helps the agency too, because I feel like administratively, we watch body camera footage routinely, and we only address officers on the bad things. Through my whole career, that's the way it was. I've addressed more good things with officers with things like this, which keeps the morale up, keeps the morale pretty high. So people can also leave good notes on the CALEA portal too, which they like to see. Our pursuits, this is, I actually made an error. It's November 11th, 2025, down in the bottom. We've only had 2 pursuits through the year 2025. The first one was the officer was working in Office of Highway Safety seatbelt enforcement overtime, Memorial Day weekend, stopped an infraction for a seatbelt not being used properly, ended up being a DUI at 5 in the afternoon, and the person fled. I think I addressed this back in June. That was one incident of a pursuit, and then the next one was actually originated in the Ocean City Police Department, came in Delaware. Fenwick Island Police Department picked up on it. This was November 11th. Bethany Beach Police Department got involved. We actually used stop sticks, the spike strips, down by Cottage Cafe, Dunkin' Donuts along Route 1. Vehicle was traveling maybe 50, 60 miles per hour with the Fenwick officer. Communicated through the radio. The officer backed off. We successfully deployed the spike strips, which took the speed down to 27 miles per hour. Nobody was on the road. It was 1 a.m. The operator went all the way to the inlet bridge and then surrendered. 2 pursuits that we had. One was initiated by Bethany Beach Police, and the other one was actually assisting Ocean City Police in their duties. Next one is the use of force. February 15th, so anytime that we use our firearm and either put down an animal, deer in this area, or display our weapon as a use of force. So if we go through a house, we're clearing a house, and somebody comes out of a bedroom and our firearm is pointed towards them, that's considered a use of force in CALEA's eyes. So when you see firearm and rifle, it's not that we shot anybody, but we displayed it as a use of force to get them to comply with police orders. February, there was an injured deer. We unfortunately had to put it down and shot it, which was a use of force. Next one was in May. I'm looking at the screen here, but very zoomed in. I'm sorry if I get these dates off. The next one was hands and feet, considered a tactical takedown for a subject going through a mental crisis at Sea Colony. This was assisting another agency. Bethany Beach Police helped take the person to the ground, which justifies use of force. The next one was a firearm pointed at a suspect hiding in adjacent structure. This was in the limits of Ocean View. They responded to a burglary in progress. Bethany Beach Police assisted, found the subject hiding in an adjacent structure who was also wanted for burglary. The officer found him, displayed a weapon, ordered him to go to the ground, successfully took him into apprehension. Another one in May, this was the one I just mentioned. This was the pursuit over a seatbelt. The operator was DUI. He fled into a development behind St. Anne's Church, immediately exited the vehicle and charged the officers. One officer had his firearm displayed, which is use of force, and the other officer, for backup, had his taser displayed. The subject ended up being tased, so this was two uses of forces, one for aiming a firearm and the other for taser deployment. October 22nd, 2025, another firearm for dispatching a deer. And the last one, it's actually November 11th. I messed up on this one too, I apologize. The pursuit that I mentioned where we used spike strip deployment on the vehicle, the woman was going through a mental health crisis. She stopped her vehicle in the lane of travel towards the Inlet Bridge, 1 o'clock in the morning, got out, as considered a felony traffic stop. 3 or 4 agencies were on scene. 2 Bethany Beach police officers, one used their rifle, pointed it at the subject to comply with the orders, and the other one used their firearm, holstered it, went hands-on, and took the person into custody. And these are nothing out of the ordinary. A lot of people don't think this kind of stuff happens in Bethany Beach, but this happens routinely. This is part of our job. This is what we train for. This is very routine in police work. Oh, that's it. That's why it's not clicking on the next slide. Sorry. Does anybody have any questions?
I had one. Could you go through your order of promotion? You know, where you have the patrolman first class, corporal. Is there a time limit, or is there?
So, 2 years is patrolman first class, and that is, in order to do that, you have to have a successful 2 years of tenure with the police department. You have to pass 100% score on policy and procedure test. Open book, so you can look at the Power DMS site that you guys have access to. There's 50 questions you can go through and research your answers. That's a requirement for a PFC. Corporal is 4 years. You have to have supervisory training on top of 80% and higher on a closed policy and procedure test. Sergeant is 6 years. Supervisory, usually they already have that as a corporal. They have to have supervisory training class. Written test, this is an outside affiliated company. Remember the name of that company we just talked about?
Stenard and Associates. It's actually, in order for us to even order the test, we have to go through the Delaware Police Chiefs Council, who is basically the sponsor of the test. So it's statewide.
It's a standardized police test that's related to theories and personalities and behaviors and supervisory traits and characteristics. It's actually, our sergeant test is a Delaware State Police lieutenant test, because it kind of do the same duties for sergeant and lieutenant. Lieutenant is 10 years minimum. We haven't had a lieutenant, I think, since 2013 in this department. That is an appointed position. However, the policy has been changed where you're going to test for that too, including an oral board, written test. That's for sergeant as well too. I didn't mention that. And then deputy chief and chief are appointed through the town.
Right.
That's our rank structure.
We've had 4 sergeants for a number of years. So even though someone would be eligible in terms of time and ability to take the test, is there a limit as to the number that we have?
So ideally, we've had 4. So when I first started my career, there was 2. There was 1 in charge of each shift, and then had corporals working beneath them. Now we've had 4 since 2012, 2013.
Yep.
That way, there's a supervisor working every 12 hours, which is fantastic. The complaints, if anybody needs to file a complaint, it's done so immediately with an officer on scene. usually being a supervisor. It's great because we have 16 seasonal police officers in the summertime. There's always a supervisor on scene. Also, back then, with 2 sergeants, they tend to work like 12 to midnight. So if something happened in the morning, there wasn't a sergeant on scene. So this way we have 4, there's always a sergeant working. And that might not be the case during holidays or vacations or trainings, but more than likely, especially summertime, there's always a sergeant on duty, which is great.
But you wouldn't add more right now.
We wouldn't add more, no. So we try to keep it at 4. There's
Yep.
too many chiefs, not enough Indians, per se.
What
4 is a good number.
about the corporal?
Well, I was gonna, so because of that, right, because once you reach sergeant, or there's 4 sergeants, you want to give your guys underneath of them something to strive for. So we do have the ranks of corporal, and that's, Corporal 1, then Corporal 2, and Corporal 3. Corporal 2 is a senior corporal, and Corporal 3 is a master corporal. To get Corporal 1, you must have 8 years of service. Corporal 2 is 12 years of service, and then Corporal 3 is 15 years of service.
There's
So
no limit on the number right now?
Correct. There's no limit for that. So it does give them the ability to keep promoting, even though there's not a sergeant spot available.
And I just, regarding the seasonal officers, is it Alex who was a seasonal?
Yeah.
Who was the one who was just taken on to South Bethany?
Did he get hired?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex,
Yeah.
you
Alex
call him-
Yeah,
Pizzola.
I ran into him in G&E the other day, and he told me that he's...
Good.
I believe he's conditionally hired through them. Yes. Yep.
That's good. Does anyone else have any questions? Could you please use the microphone?
Did you shush the mayor?
It's being recorded. It's being recorded. We want to hang on every word, Mr. Mayor. And you have to set the example.
I know. Sorry. Is there the different levels of corporal coming up? Is there a pay increase, or is
There is. Yes. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what it is. I want to say is it 3% between?
Well,
can't remember.
I mean, that's
Yes, there is.
but I-
There is a pay increase with each
okay.
level. Yes.
It's
yes.
just good to hear that, because these guys are all young guys, families, and also the incentive is still there.
I believe it's 3% per corporal rank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. And just furthermore, so as the chief said, you have to have certain requirements. There's requirements for that as well. So different classes, like you have to obtain a certified instructor's course, credits in college. You have to do community service. You have had to have taught some classes or done a community event. So there are other stipulations other than just tenure to achieve those milestones.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you very much, Chief and Deputy Chief. The next item would be report and lessons learned from ride-alongs, and I think, Mrs. Fogash, you have something.
Okay, yes. I did ride-alongs with, Ryan and also Tressler. And I was very, very impressed. First of all, I think, Pastor, you mentioned, it's like they have an office in their car. I mean, they are not, you think when you pass them, when I run past them, sometimes I think, oh, they're just sitting there. They're not. They are looking at license plates, they're running things, what's going on in other places. I mean, it's amazing. I don't know how they do it all. And I think the key of it is that you don't realize that they're just checking plates, and they're finding 2 cases, they were unexpired. One was unexpired, as you looked up, you could track things through that. They didn't even have a license. And how patient they are in approaching the cars and talking to them. And then coming back and getting more information and going back to them. The one that had an expired tag, it was a new car, and the plate did not come in. And he was having problems with motor vehicle department to get new ones. So I think he handled it very well in the fact that he had to cite him, but as soon as you got that tag, when we go to court, charges will be dismissed. So I thought, that was thinking ahead. But they explained everything to me. The other thing is, they were very welcoming that I was tagging along. I was wondering, oh, gee whiz, are they going to be upset? They have this, for 2 hours or 3 hours, this woman is going to be with. But it was very, very interesting. But and we went to different sites, and they explained why they went to these sites and, how far that they could go. There was one where we watched the car, and then two other officers came to help. But it was very, very interesting. But I do think that the professionalism is beyond what I had thought. And I was very, very impressed. And I do see if the public could occasionally do this, how, we're just very proud of our officers.
Thank you.
You were going to say something? Anybody else? I think for those of us who did the ride-alongs, that was our experience too. And they're proud of the work they do, and that shines forth as well. Yep. And to your point, they really were happy that we tagged along, I think.
Yes, I know.
It is a little lonely in the car for 12 hours, so it's nice to have some company every once in a while.
Could I add also that I did meet with Pastor Becky from Mariners Bethel Global Methodist Church. They're starting a PAC committee in Ocean View, and she wanted me to talk with her about what we actually were doing here. So we talked for about a good half an hour to an hour and discussed the situation. It was good to hear that they're coming up and doing the same thing. I also wanted to give you, as far as an update, yesterday we did start our men's shelter here. We had no takers. We consider them neighbors. We're a hybrid system. When they come here, they are screened. They have to be willing to work and take training to find employment and find housing. We're going to house 4 to 8 guys. Right now we have none, 4 to 8 guys. A normal day for the guys here is at 8 o'clock. Our neighbors would get up. We would transport them to Community Resource Center in Rehoboth. We have a van. Love Inc. came about with a van. We take them there, and at 4 o'clock we pick them up. They come back here. They have dinner at 6, and at 8:30, 9 o'clock, it's lights out, time to get ready for the next day. They do this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. On Thursday, they stay on site, and we'll be doing a Bible study. I think the AA group's going to meet with them also, and we're going to give them some more training here. And then on Sunday, we invite them to worship with us at the Bethany Beach Christian Church Disciples of Christ. Where we need help, we're collecting winter coats, gloves, hats for men. So if you have any of that stuff, you can drop it by the church on Tuesday and Thursday, and on Sunday from 9 a.m. till noon. I'll be at the church in that days. Again, our goal is to house 4 to 8 guys in Stonehouse. It's a hybrid system. We call them our neighbors. They'll be working toward training to get employment and also seeking to be housed. So on March 15th, when we end, they just don't go out in the street. They will have a place to go and live at to work out. So that's our goal.
And what day was that again, that we could drop things off?
Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Could you talk a little bit about that? That's a nationwide group, isn't it, that Love Inc.?
Love Inc. is, I'm not sure if it's nationwide. It's definitely local.
Okay.
Here they work
I
out.
think it is, because I looked it up after you talked about it.
They are very supportive. Again, they came about with a van because that was one of the problems we had. If we get 4 to 5 guys, we can go in one vehicle. But when we get up to 8 guys, we need a van, and they came by a van. We'll use it during this time period to transport them around and make them work out. So right now we have no takers because they have not gone through the process yet, but we're hoping in the next couple of days to start filling the house up. Again, only 4 to 8 guys is all we have. We're not a normal Love Inc. situation which houses men just off the street. They have to go through Love Inc. They have to fill out information about them, and they have to know they have to work towards employment and work towards finding housing.
So they're placed by the local Love Inc. but,
Love Inc., correct.
So they come through, they could be from Georgetown and go through
They
Love
could be from
Inc.,
Georgetown.
and then they come here
Yeah,
for
our
the,
resident that's there, which is Will Blaine, last night we got a call from Georgetown that said they had no guys staying overnight with the men up there. Since he didn't have any men here, he went up there and stayed that night. So we do have that flexibility to send them around and see what we've got.
okay, oh, that's good.
Again, winter coats, gloves, hats, drop it by there. As you've seen today, winter is coming. Winter is coming.
I imagine, too, that's when you'll start getting more people.
I imagine
Yeah.
more people filling out the paperwork,
Yeah,
yes.
Just a question for Rich is
And refresh your memory, I'm sure you talked about this before, but how long do people stay in the program? I mean, is there a set period of time, or is it until they get a job? or-
We started December 1st to March 15th.
Okay,
So they could be in the house 24/7, except we take them down to the Community Resource Center in Rehoboth for those days. But they're allowed to, they can stay there the whole time. We're not accepting any walk-ins. So if somebody comes off the street and walks in, we're not accepting. We are hoping to keep them off the street here in in Bethany Beach for that time period, because we got all these resources available.
thank you.
Pastor, if our officers come across someone that could benefit from that service, is there a contact number or someone
Have
that
them contact Love Inc.,
Love Inc?
because they're taking care of all the placements.
Okay.
Do you have a phone number you can give him?
don't
have to do it
Off the
now.
top of my
Yeah,
head, no,
yeah,
but I would
yeah,
contact Love Inc.
Is
and
it the
see-
same? Is it the same individual from last year that kind of ran the program?
Miguel and
No, I don't think it
No.
was Miguel. Oh, is this Code Purple's not related to?
it's part of Love Inc.
Okay. All right.
And we're a hybrid program.
Yeah.
We're not, like, if you came by somebody and dropped them off like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, we would say you need to go through Love Inc. We
Right.
would take them someplace else.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Very good.
What happens after March 15th if they don't have employment or a place to live?
We haven't yet figured out what to do with that. Our goal is hopefully, like last year, we had 14 people at the most that stayed there. About 6 or 7 of the guys were working towards getting to some of the guys that have no interest at all. That's what we're trying to avoid. We were very much disappointed by the efforts of some of the guys who were not, they didn't want to do anything. Yes,
That's a good program. Thank you.
thank you.
It's a great program. Anyone else? Okay. Anyone have any questions?
I just a comment on what Diane said. She said something about not being sure that people would be happy to have her in the car. I think they'd be very happy to have you in the car and very lucky to have you in the car. Just for the record.
Thank you, Dan.
Sure.
We'll be sure to put that in the minutes. Okay, under new business, review an application of policies that arose during ride-alongs. Does anyone have anything? No? All right. The next item then is discussion, consideration, and possible vote on additional quarterly meetings in 2026. And as I said, as I wrote to all of you, we tried to keep since these dates, the first Tuesday in each of the quarters work well for everyone last time, I was proposing the same this time. I'd like to change the March 3rd, if it's possible, to Tuesday, March 24th, if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah.
Then the other dates would be Tuesday, June 2nd, and December 1st, and also September 9th. No, it was September what?
I think you mentioned the 15th.
It was September 15th, thank you. So it would be March 24th, June 2nd, September 15th, and December 1st. Are those dates? And Raylene said that those were fine on the calendar. And if for any reason, we might have to change it going through, but if we could just, so people can plan. Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And then I think that's it. Does anyone have anything they want to say, any public comment?
We got one thing. So Deputy Chief and I, it's not easy for everybody to go through the 20 hours, especially living their own lives, and I know you gave up a lot to do that. It is a post requirement. Pastor Rich is scheduling. He has a couple more. I think he's doing ride-alongs. We're going to get that done, but once we get that scheduled, our small Bethany Beach pack has completed 20 hours of mandatory service. I think some have gone above and beyond with that. We created some, you want to start handing them out?
Look at that, that's great.
They're just a couple plaques. You can throw them in the trash or you can put them on your mantle, whatever you want to do. It's just a
Nice.
certificate of completion for the 20 hours completed
Perfect.
for the
Thank
PAC
you.
members.
Thank you.
And
It was a privilege to do this.
Oh, it was.
the officers absolutely loved.
Yeah,
the experience too.
Can I ride with this in the car? In case I get stopped, I can just,
Yep, yep. And please, if you want to continue ride-alongs, you're absolutely more than welcome whenever you want to do it. It's a
Very nice.
little slow this time of year, but
I meant to do great.
please just shoot me an email and whenever you want to jump in, we can coordinate it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
very nice.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything to say? Yeah, please use the microphone.
So mine is not related to the content of this meeting, but it is Giving Tuesday, and the chief and deputy chief have beards for a
Yes.
reason. So I think you should plug your charity on Giving Tuesday, right?
Thank you. As a matter of fact, I sent a check into Justin Beach House, said
You
it
did?
was for your, in solidarity with the Bethany
Okay.
Beach Police Department.
So,
Make sure they count all those.
yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you said that. I know BBLA made a donation. I think right now we're just over, well, before this meeting, we were just under $4,100.
Okay.
Between the officers, people matching our donation, and other donations, BBLA, Mayor. So we're doing great things. I've been in communication with Justin's Beach House, giving them updates, letting them know that, you know, we advertise the link and whatever they get. I think they're still adding, they're computing on their side. I'm trying to get the final number so we can present a giant, literally a giant check to them. We plan on doing that for the January town council meeting here. Mayor, I think that was your suggestion. They're going to come. They're ecstatic about that.
I think that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
That is really great. Justin's House is such a good organization and effort. I know they have a race too that they do, so, but I know they can use every little bit that they can get, so. And it's just a nice effort to be able to support, you know, children with cancer coming in here and their families, them and their families being able to spend a week at the beach. You know, how can you get any better?
Right.
I mean, that's wonderful.
Thank you. Did you have something to add?
I do.
Well, please, say it.
No, I just wanted to comment on the meeting. I think it's great to hear all the happenings of the police department and what's going on and the difficult events that they have to deal with. You know, for us on the outside, we have no realization that that's going on. And I think it's good. I hope there's a lot of people watching this that, you know, get a little insight and, you know, get to see what's going on and how professional our officers are. You know, they all amaze me every time I see them and talk to them, and you know, they're very open. And like you were saying with your ride-arounds, I'd love to do a ride-around sometime. But just to talk to them, they'll tell you what's going on and you know how things operate in their vehicle, which, like you said, you know, it's like an office in there. It's incredible what they, you know, what they have and what they can. The resources they have right in front of them to address whatever the situation is. So thank you. And this is,
Thank you.
I think these
Thank you,
PAC
Mayor.
meetings are great. Love them.
For the PAC members, Mayor and Council had an orientation. It was the first one that I was part of, where we just kind of showed them around. I think the big thing, correct me if I'm wrong, was the car. The car was fascinating to everybody. So, yeah, if anybody wants to do a ride-along, we have certain waivers that need to be filled out for that, and we provide a nice, comfortable, bulletproof vest, right, Dan?
Yes,
Very,
sir.
very comfortable.
I didn't want to give it up.
Yeah. So by
feel
all
ve-
means, if
you
you
feel
want to do a
very
ride-along.
safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
They did mention that do not get out of the car no matter what.
And they did tell you what button to press
Right,
for an emergency.
right.
Yep. Okay, anybody else? All right. Are you taking our picture? Ah, thank you. Okay, no more business, so do we have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you Thank you very much,
Thank
Chief,
you.
Deputy Chief.
Great
That was
meeting.
really great.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ken.